Hello, this is Dr. Lopez, and we are going to discuss today some behavior management strategies to help your child with self-management. Here is the first task that you can do with your child. It is a chart that they regulate their own behavior. So basically, you choose some strategies that you want them to focus on. Here's some examples here, like raising your hand and answering questions. And then every time they engage in that behavior, your child will score or tally on the second column as far as the amount of times that they did engage in that behavior. At the end, you can have a conversation with your child about what worked, what didn't work, and what can they change in order to have a more successful outcome in the next round that you do with them. Here is a behavior tracker. And so basically you choose a specific behavior that you want them to focus on. For instance, raising your hand. And if they're prompted to do that and they are successful, then they get a check. If they're prompted and they are not successful, they forget, or they don't engage in that behavior, then they get an X. And so after a specific time period, you can go ahead and track the amount of times that they did the behavior successfully and how many times they didn't. And so in that reflection process, again, you want to make sure that you're talking about what worked, what didn't work, and what could they do differently to get a better outcome. Here is another example of ways in which they can go ahead and monitor their behavior. So for instance, in this case, we're looking at raising their hand versus blurting out. And so this could be, again, a specific time period that you're doing this. They go ahead and provide themselves check marks for when they do the behaviors. And also this is important because an incentive is tied with it. So for instance, if I raise my hand instead of blurting, I get extra computer time. And there may be other different types of things that they want to work for. So it's super important to make sure that the child is involved in the process of creating the incentive. Otherwise, they may not want to work for the incentive that you pick for them. So it's important to let them know ahead of time, this is an agreed upon incentive, this is the behaviors that I want to see, and then they track their progress in getting there. And that's it. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful.